Hello, my name is Noel Conlon, and this is part 3 of a demonstration of how to use Eplan macros. I have opened up a standard project, Lock Station, and Cubicle A is drive 1, a 7.5 kilowatt VSD. So I proceed as follows. I wish to import a macro, so I'll just use M, and the macro selection comes up here with DOL. I'll move back a bit up here so I can find the variable speed drives. Here's the variable speed drives. Power flex. I know in advance I want to have variant A, so I select variant A. Here's my text as I described earlier, where I said what's going on, sizes and so on. So I can select that. Position it with XY, return, yes, do not modify, escape. So I've successfully entered the first control section. I now select variant B, which is the power part of that, return, XY, and now I can select I want a 7.5 kilowatts, so I select 7.5, OK, do not modify. Now you can see the result. The motor is down at 7.5 kilowatt. Each of these devices has been selected accordingly. This is a 7.5 kilowatt variable speed drive, filter to match. MPCB is the correct one for the variable speed drive, and so also is the contactor. The B drive in this case will be a DOL, in fact with an E3. I've opened up the DOL, variant A, control section, XY, and then variant B, we'll select that particular type of direct online, and it is to be to 5.5. 5.5, okay. Do not modify. Here we have a direct online starter, 5.5 kilowatts. Suitable PCB selected. The macro pages have been designed in such a way that the relay numbers correspond, and so cross-referencing is complete. We would now like to generate a summarized parts list, which I will cause to live in the plant documentation section. So if we open up this page, we get the first of the summarized parts lists, and our components, order number here, part number here, Allen Bradley, no prices here, power flex, and so on. Every little piece, number off, listed here. 10 contact blocks, push button operators, anything that the degree of detail which is entered in the macro will allow you to produce a more detailed summarized parts list. Inside Eplan, the so-called path function test with text, which I've shown down here as drive 1 to match this description. It can be whatever we wish. It's also drive 1 for the power section, and then the next one here is drive 2. Drive 2, so I changed the text, the default text which came in, to correct this. Using utilities, I've then generated a cable overview. You can see here all the cables that have been designed into it are already appearing with their type, and the function text is drive 1 where it's applicable and drive 2 where it's applicable. The details of cable W1 are shown here, where it comes from. each of the conductors and so on, where they begin and end. So you've got a full cable list just here in the overview, and then individual cable diagrams. So this is the equivalent of the so-called scheme. This is the equivalent of the cable schedule. When the macros are properly designed, this can cut down a great deal of rework. It's more accurate, and you can have these summarized lists in a very, very short time. On the summarized parts lists, we can have down to quite fine detail depending on how we wish to design the macros. In this case, we've got various push buttons, emergency stop units, device net termination resistor, seem to have one missing there, brass cable glands, and so on. That will match the number of cables. And in the case of the cables, if we enter the correct lengths, we can have a summarized total of the cables involved.